Hello everyone and welcome to be community. I am Gill on my right. I am joined today by Voa, and we will be commentating week 6 of Guilty Gear Strive. One more week to go before the end. How are you doing, Voa, and how do you feel about this week's matches?
I'm doing quite well. In the tournament, I think I'm repping Ireland pretty well. I think I'm the only Irish person repping Guilty Gear Strive.
Nice.
And there's 2 of us in Unist. And I'm looking forward to these matches. They're going to be very interesting, I think. We're going to see some explosive play and a lot ongoing. And like you said, everyone's kind of wrapping up their matches now. We're entering into the last week or 2 of this competition.
Yep.
So hopefully we see some great matches to close out.
We're going to have a look into the bracket just to have an idea of what that actually means and how it's visualized. So you are already dominating your bracket with 6 matches, and Akoral is second, but you're very, very close. And I think Akoral has 1 less match. Is that correct?
I actually have fought my final match against Akoral. I'm not going to reveal how that went. But Kashkabald and Akoral are both Leos in that bracket, and they're both excellent players. And we saw, I believe, Do the Manta Ray last week on here with their Leo. It was the bracket of Leos. It's all it was.
We can say that that bracket's a bit of a zoo then.
Yeah, nothing but gorillas and apes swinging at each other.
I thought you meant big cats. I thought you would have said big cats, but okay.
No. Last week, I believe we saw Mick Oro take their final game and make their clean sweep win all the way through. So they will be going through to the next stage of this tournament, which will be the double elimination round, which will also still have all games 1st to 7. It won't matter anymore if you score a bunch of points in it, but you still need to win your 7 matches.
Yep.
I have been told that there's a slight change. It's not going to be double elim, it's single elim, but 1st to 10. So the matches will be that much more grueling, up to 19 games needing to be played.
Topanga style.
Chaos and Streampuff here leading the bracket on their respective thing, but KOF Madness, no slouch, 4-1 with a game in hand this week. KOF Madness, I believe we saw the recording of previously, which was the May Potemkin matchup, which was very interesting to watch. Mileman leading theirs, clean sheet so far, and RR Mahosojo is 5-1, also taking up the lead there. I believe Mahosojo was a BlazBlue player at one point. I think I fought them when I went to head spotting, I want to say.
Oh.
An excellent player, if my memory serves me correctly, which it usually doesn't, but sometimes it does. And for Group E, we have Dreammaker and Chargi. There's a couple of matches that are a little bit slow to be played here, but that's all right, as long as they get all their games out of the way before the end of next week, I believe it is, when the final reporting is coming in. And in Group F, we're seeing Norville and I'm not even...
Sikakari, both May players, actually. Funny enough. Seems like nobody can deal with May in that group.
It's hard to deal with May, even if you're a May player. I reckon it's a mirror match you don't want to really deal with. 6P, falling H, falling D. You love playing it.
Yeah, because like I am a player that values reactive play and adaptive play and the lateral thinking way more than just doing my thing. And I think like May is one of the most predictable characters. Incredibly predictable characters because of her game plan being so basic in a way, right? So linear. It gives you an opportunity to really study like the 3 or 4 things that you really need to deal with and get good at reacting at them, like reacting to them or predicting them. Like a big thing that I don't see a lot of players doing against May is neutral jumping into a button or back jumping into a button when they're expecting a dolphin. They just block the dolphin, they spam the 6P, the May just waits there, lets them whiff, and then we punish them. And then they complain that May is too strong. It's like, if you're not playing that kind of gameplay and you're just giving May free with punishes leading to hard knockdowns, 5K, 3Ks or whatever, yes, she's an incredible character, but she has no mix-up, no way to open you up. and she doesn't really have like even when you use meter, right? She doesn't have the crazy mix-ups that you can see from many other characters. So I don't know. Personally, I never had problems in main meters. Like before I need.
You say no mix-up, but like she's got a disjointed long-range low. She has a run-up command grab. She has an overhead that she can combo into on counter hit. Like Mei has got things. Mei isn't a complete slouch.
Yeah, I mean she's a good character. Don't get me wrong, but the 2S doesn't go into anything, right? It's a poke. They doesn't really put pressure on you. So when you enter that mentality, then nothing can happen if you just block and take your turn after. She doesn't really have much. All the like the run grab that you mentioned, the common grab, great in the corner, doesn't really do much full mid screen, and also it only happens from a block jumping HS. Why are you blocking jumping HS when you can 6P it?
Some of us don't trust our 6Ps, and we just want to hit 2H. I miss hitting 2H.
True that. That's the one thing not to do against me. Don't try an anti-air jumping HS without upper body invincibility. Just don't.
Yeah, even if you have upper body invincibility, make sure you're doing it from the right angle. As a Potemkin whose heat knuckle has frequently gotten counter hit, that's a warning out to you. If you're Saul, if you're real, you probably don't need to worry. But the rest of us, with our fair hit. The Mei Kai matchup. So you mentioned that like once you respect Mei's incoming and what she can get done, you just have to take your turn back. But what do you think that Kin Games needs to do here to try and compensate for Etokaru coming in at them? Like, is it jump back S? Is it trying to put some fireballs down? Is it just get long fireball, do Foudre arc, and go from there?
Yeah, I mean, predictive DP can work decently at the mid. Sort of mid-range of the JHS before it comes out, or you just resort to 6Ps. He has a very good range for mid-range buttons. The Far S, the Far HS, the Stun Dipper, also sort of as a as a chase option. The fireballs are bad. Not gonna lie. Like I'm not gonna say, hey, just fireball, because no, she's going to smoke you, especially with the jumping HS. In general, as a Kai, in my opinion, from my experience with the matchup, you have to hope that Mei doesn't challenge your Foudre arc, because if she does, it's 60% meterless every single time from any button.
That's a lot of damage just off that one challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. Due to the 7-frame close S, she can like make him explode. The only thing that I think is really good for Kai is the control that he has in both in neutral and when controlling corner.
I reckon that Kai's got a couple of really good buttons for this matchup. Things that mean that he can avoid respecting Dolphin, but
yes,
there's those times.
Great. Like 5K is absolutely great against Dolphins.
Yep. But the trouble becomes like when you start relying on those tools, Mei can start changing up how she's aggressive to you, change up how she wants to start coming at you, and she does have that explosive damage. You could be leading a match, like you could be scoring 40%, then get her down to like 30. She's down at 20%. You make one mistake, she gets you into a mix-up, you're dead.
Yeah. That's it. And the first thing I say to people that come to me for help with the Mei matchup is do not jump predictively at Mei and press a button, because 2HS into close as loop just makes you explode. Doesn't matter who you are, and also it's kind of hard to It's kind of hard to burst safely because you are so high. It hits so high that the moment she goes into 2HS, it makes pretty much any burst weave if it's a juggle.
And now we're getting into it, and surprisingly, we're not seeing Mei versus Kai. We're seeing Angie versus Milia. Okay, both these guys, both these players choosing not to play their mains, I guess, or maybe their mains have shifted. It has been 6 weeks.
Yeah, true that, and also it could be just the first few games to see how it goes. But yeah, on this match, it's not something you see a lot, mostly because many people have given up on Angie. But Angie does have decent tools in this matchup, mostly because she has to approach from the air most of the time, due to the spins and the decent range of his mid range options. But in general, like once you are blocking, then you don't really have a lot of stuff aside from the parry once you meter.
We're seeing like round 1 is going pretty well for Kid Games here. There's been some minor misplays from both sides, but and an excellent pickup here from King Games. Possibly gonna get the just misses the wall break there. Good use of red RC. Ooh. Really good burst block. Yeah. Really good burst block from King Games.
Taking burst away at the beginning of the second round with so little burst taken back is huge for King Games. Especially because any touch will go into a positive bonus pretty much from almost any range.
Yep, and we're possibly going to see it here. Getting into that wall splat territory. There's the move.
Ooh, that's a break.
Surprised it break. I'm so used to bad insta breaking. Oh, and the super break for the OP knockdown. This is exactly what Milia wants.
Also, like, just damage due to the wall break.
Oh, this could be it. Oh, just goes for the throw at the end of the combo as a reset. And seeing it, Itokaru trying to do a throw out of the pressure there. Throw being 2-frame startup makes it really tempting to use a lot now that it's no longer sharing a button with your HS. But at the same time, the fact that there's now a throw with animation makes it super dangerous because those throws have no range. You gotta be careful.
Yeah, and speaking of throw animations, if I remember right, they all set you into a counter hit state, right?
Yep. And if you do an air throw and get yourself into an air whiff, you are counter hittable all the way to the ground and can't push another button. It's a bad time.
Yeah, it's brutal. And another thing on throws to mention, this I mention very often if you follow me, follow my commentary, because it's something that still people have not picked up on. Most of the common grabs, probably all common grabs in the game, are full dustable, right? Some of them have like 10 to 15 frames to do it, so a very large punish, but people are still leaving them on the table. Even at Evil, I was watching some of the games at Evil, not many people backdash.
Is it all the command grabs? Because I don't think Wild Throw and Nago's one.
Yes, Wild Throw for sure. Wild Throw for sure. Yeah, I've done it to Soul a few times.
And Nago's command grab, the bite.
I believe so. I'll double check now.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of always a bit anxious about trying to punish. And at the same time, whenever I don't get hit by the bite, it's mainly because I'm doing Potbuster into the bite, and both of us are just whiffing with our throw in both frames.
I mean, if you have a Potbuster, then you kind of don't need the dust. But, for many characters, the dust is a huge meter-less punish.
Actually, dust is worth about 40 damage more raw than Potbuster. And usually gives you slightly better positionings. Depending. I think we're seeing a swap out of the stage, or because we're seeing Itokaru picking their Angie again here, and I don't think if normal tournament rules apply, if you win your first set, you don't get to change character. Although I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, it should be no change character, but it could be a change stage or whatever. But yeah, on your question, 41 frames for Wild Throw.
Oh wow. And Nago's bite TP? Sorry, bite grab. Because I know Potemkin Buster is very punishable on whiff. 41, jeez, that's a lot more than I thought.
48.
48? It's more punishable than Wild Throw.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, if I remember right, I'm not 100% sure, but I think all the charge dusts are 28. So you're definitely comfortable there.
It's 28 or 26. I always get it wrong in my. I think it's 20...
pretty sure it's 28. I'm gonna check.
Well, you're the one with Dust Loop open, so you let us know. The main reason I think it's 26 is because I'm pretty sure that blocking a burst puts you at 29 frames of disadvantage or something like that. But we will find out. Burst punishes are dust-based punishes are 28 total?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, they're the best meterless punishes you can do, and once you start expending meter in them, your damage can start really shooting up quite a lot. I'm sure that anyone who's on their own character Discord has definitely seen their own version of the metered dust combo that they can do. Potemkin's one is just he hits you with his butt 8 times. It's pretty great.
Yeah. I found an exception to what I was talking about, and that's like one of the things I wanted to check would be leaf grab from Chip. That's -15.
-15 if he whiffs it, so you can't dust punish it.
Easy, you cannot do it.
Yeah, and because of the nature of it, you can't even. I don't know. I've never been able to essentially throw clash with it, where both of our throw invincibilities go through each other. It always beats Potemkin Buster. Which? I think it has something to do with the fact that he's airborne or something, and therefore any command grab that you challenge with will just lose.
Speaking about the common grabs, overhead kiss is 45 frames recovery.
45. That's a lot. That's a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Also, you can do a full dust punish on Eno's super common grab. You have to jump behind it, wait a little bit, and then charge dust, and you can punish her.
Yep. You essentially have. I think the version of it that I've seen that uses the punish needs an air dash so that you can actually get up and above her.
Yeah. Either like a jump or an air dash, depending on the character, basically, and their mobility.
Meanwhile, Nago and Potemkin just feeling sad here in the corner. Although Nago did win, what was the tournament? Was it EVO? Or am I crazy?
EVO, North America.
It feels so strange to think that EVO has come and gone.
In Europe.
Which?
I said Uriel came second in Europe as well with Nago.
Yeah, like, I don't think anyone was sleeping on Nago. His damage is absurd. His mix is really crazy. Once he's in Blood 3, his H normals are scary, to say the least. And his close slash is a crime. I'll maintain that. There are problems with that close slash. It puts in so much work all the time in every matchup, both as a combo tool, as an engage tool, as a mix-up tool. Like, he's just a good character, and he's also really good for learning the game because what he lacks is stuff that you should be able to play the game without. So no invincible reversal for a get off me outside of his super. So it teaches you that defense on your wake up is the best option.
A lot of the characters that do that will teach even passively a player to just respect and learn the option of the opponent. Because going back to May, one thing that many people should learn is that her main mix-ups, which are 5k 3k or 5k into dust or 5k into charge dust or 5k into 6k, they're all reactable, so they're all like fuzzable. If you start with the low, since the 2D is 10, 3K is 11. The rest is all like 20, 28. So you can very comfortably fuzzy guard.
Mm-hmm. I've always struggled to fuzzy guard, but that's mainly because I'm probably mashing Potemkin Buster.
Yeah, to be honest, if there is a 9-frame gap, I might as well try that instead.
Yeah, exactly. That's even latest possible Kara Pot Buster is 8 frames. So
yeah. By the way, I was checking all the common grabs. The only exception that I found was leaf grab. Everything else is dustable. Well, aside from Axel, due to the nature of the common grab, but the fact that it comes from behind you, and if you're backdashing it and you're close to him, it's probably recovered by then. But other than that,
surprisingly, it actually might not be. Potemkin can full screen backdash the command grab, hammerfall as a counter hit.
Okay, yeah, it's mostly because you would need. I guess if you have that movement to backdash full screen and then use, in my case, it would be a dolphin because that's our travel option of choice. But yeah, it would be like something like backdash, dolphin outside of the range, as long as you get into full chargeable dust and then dust them. The reason I push for this also is that not only is a huge punish, but also it saves you meter. When you start with the counter hit, right, to reach sort of that same reward, most likely you will need meter to extend at some point, right? Whether if you do it with dust, you still get, your 40, 50, 60, 70%, depending on the character and the opponent, and you still have that meter for the mix-up after when you reset to neutral.
Like, it's just a really intelligent way to save your mix-up potential for further on. I think the only case where Potemkin gets better damage than a counter hit dust is with a lot of Karabakh Mega Fist loops and meter, like you said, meter expenditure at the end. Like,
and they're also situational, right?
Oh yeah, like they have to be in the corner, and you have to start off specific buttons. So most of the time, Charge Dust is just the best way to go.
I kind of don't agree. I was just reading the chat. I kind of don't agree with the fact that the Dust deals too much damage due to the startup. Like 28 is a very reactable overhead.
Yeah. Like, there's arguments to be made where it's like, oh, this is too much, it's free, why are you just getting this much off it? But like, when you're getting hit by Charged Dust, it's because you made a mistake, and Guilty Gear Strive is a game where your mistakes cost you. Like,
exactly.
That's just the way the game is designed. It, like, sometimes you can feel like this is unfair to lose this much off a single mistake, and that's when you get hit by counter hit by Soul FS. Like, getting counter hit by Soul Far Slash feels awful, and it's like, I did the right thing to beat it, but because of positioning, or that he delayed a half second, or because of lag, I got hit anyway, I'm sad. But if you get hit by fully charged Dust, there's no one to blame but yourself. You have messed up in some big way. You either didn't block a 26 frame overhead, or you have gotten really cheeky with what you were trying to do.
Yeah, the only like times where I can agree with the statement that they do too much damage is when you are hit from a very structured mix-up that sort of cuts the time which you can react. Like, I don't know, make it do a Rizugawa ball and midway start with the Dust. So that's the problem.
Yep, and now we're back into the game, and we're still playing Angie versus Milia here.
With a new stage.
With a new stage, which is meant to be less laggy, I hope.
Yeah, I think this is one of the least laggy stages. I don't know if there's like a full ranking, but I know this is one of the A-OK ones.
Ooh, really good combo coming out here. We've not seen a lot of wall breaks out of Kin Games here, which is kind of weird, because a lot of Milia's game plan is get a hit, get the wall break, get the meter advantage, do a mix, do it again, win the game.
Yeah,
if necessary.
It's kind of like her own thing, her own shtick, if you want. I still think she has like decent command of neutral, but you have to play her a certain way. You have to play adapt it to the opponent and what they're doing.
Exactly. Whereas in like Exerd, I think pin just kind of was neutral. Just like, go my small pin, hold down the neutral for me. Whereas in this game, she has to commit a lot more, it feels like, whenever she's going in.
Yeah, and also I remember the older Guilty Gear players were telling me in other games she had some options that she's lacking here that they wished for them to come back.
To be fair, that's always Milia players. Milia players want all their tools all the time so that they can do a million very fancy double-sided mix-ups where they're hitting you at the bottom left while their body is in the top right, and they're being like, ah yes, got him with the schmicks. And most of the time I'm like, that's cute, I hit you with 2 potbusters, you die.
Fair enough, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah, if your mix isn't real, I don't have to respect you, and even if it is, I probably still don't.
Fair enough.
But we're seeing a lot of good hits coming out of Kin Games here, really putting in the work, and there we go, finally the Bad Moon wall break. This is like the 4th or 5th Bad Moon we've seen, and only the 1st wall break. Terrifying. And really good pickup, and going for another one, taking the round. Another thing something that people forget about a lot of the time is how much damage a wall break actually does, even fully scaled. It's still like as much as a normal hard slash, just raw. Really good.
Okay, now the full carry in the corner, the Fujin on the other side. Speaking of carrying, isn't option usually. Okay, the counter. Oh, on the other side, avoiding the 6p. Yeah, you have to time it sort of to autocorrect, if that makes sense.
A lot of people, when they're playing as Angie recently, have been giving out about how little mix-up he can actually get off this Fujin stuff. I still think it's really strong, and a lot of what he can get done is still pretty good mix. It's not nearly as good as Exerd, mind you, or sorry, Plus R anymore, but it's still good.
Yep. Okay, 3rd round now.
Yep. Finally taking a round onto the board. being like, I ain't free. You're gonna actually have to play me at some point. Good hits into the corner, gets that counter hit, good burst. You don't want to be put into the corner by Milia if you can avoid it, like force her to have to try to come in again.
Yep, and the super now. Oh, closer to the corner could have actually wall broken.
Yep. Another piece of knowledge again is that, oh, good throw on Wake Up. 2 frames. If you're not going to hit a meaty, don't be in throw range. Big warning there for everyone.
And the other thing is, like, she can kind of decently set them up from close S. Despite close S -2, with all the things that she can do from there, you have to react to. She can sneak in throws very easily.
Good burst, trying to keep the corner. That's another thing that some people don't do a lot of, is try to use burst aggressively when they're getting hit out of the corner, when they're trying to maintain that kind of pressure. But really good play here from Itokare to get back, to get King Games back into the corner and get them back under pressure.
Okay, and right now the Fujin into the corner. Oh, the ring actually to avoid the Fujin that was misspaced, and now into the corner you're going, full conversion. That's it. Okay, and we going into round 2. Ooh, counter hit into the burst 8.
Excellent play from King Games there. One thing that I have seen a couple of Angies mention, oh, these are so many counter hits. You gotta mind what you're doing when you're waking up with buttons here, especially on somebody who loves to lay down traps like Milia. And the wall break.
She has very good up close pressure, even without cancels, but with Mira it becomes really, really aggressive.
I was just about to say there, before we saw that spin come out, one of the things, we have an Angie player in Ireland he's good, he's really good, but he also mentions, sorry, which?
Zogare?
No, Maka. They've become a Leo player recently.
Yes. It's because Maka switches countries every week, so I never know where to place it.
Yeah, they were playing Angie, and I think they switched to Leo since, but they mentioned like a lot of neutral when you're playing Angie just winds up having to be spin. Like you have to try to bait stuff out because people's buttons are so much better than yours. Yeah, and like a lot of, if you can't, until you can get your mix going or until you can get your own sequence going, it's actually a lot of struggle to try and get in. And against a character as fast and as versatile as Milia, I can imagine that like you want to use spin to try to establish some kind of threat in neutral and force her to stop pushing buttons.
Oh wow, what's a bait on the jump, delayed with the hover, with the bad moon. Oh, too far, tried to parry, didn't work out. Yeah, what you were saying, do you know, for example, that far S is actually punishable on hit with Mira?
Oh no.
Yes, so you get hit by the far S, and the moment you're outside the block stun, you BRC forward, and you can punish his recovery.
That's sad. That's very sad.
Like -15 or something.
Poor Angie. He tries so hard, and I mean, I say poor Angie, but I also had to fight a really good Angie in Ireland back when we were all playing +R, and it was just a case of like, oh good, I'm in the mix-up again.
Yeah,
I hate it here.
I remember +R Angie. He tries so hard and ends so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter, man.
In the end, I got hit by Butterfly and then Hawk. Ooh, red RC. Good pick up. Nice, very, very nice combo out of Kin Games there. We were saying before, like, I guess they're not playing their mains here, they're trying something else out, but Kin Games is representing the Amelia really well here. Like, they're doing good mix, they're getting good pressure, they know their spacing for hitting far S into follow-ups. Like,
I think, like, the game is in a place where you can do things like this, right, and you can excel as a player, but then you look at what reward you can get with some other characters, and many people, understandably, just switch.
Yeah, like, you put in so much work with Angie, and you think about, like, all these matchups to such a high degree, and then you just look at Soul or Ram or Leo, and they hit 1S, and they win the match, essentially, off that +1 mix, and you're like, why don't I just do that, though? Why don't I just... Ooh, very good hit. At the same time, it's always nice to see character specialists come out of the woodwork and be like, actually, I've put the work in here. Like... Again, Winner of Evo was a Nago player, and Nago isn't one of those characters that you think about a lot as being, like, super overpowered. His damage is really good, but like a mediocre Nago player will put themselves into Blood Rage and lose the round off it every time. You have to be really good at a lot of different skills to be a good Nago player.
True that. Ooh. I mean, he has some strengths though that are not to be valued.
But his damage output is insane.
Yeah, and also the meter build, if you can manage your blood meter. Ooh, watch your toes!
Oh, very good pickup here off that. And the wall break, no super to follow it up with, but is gonna get the meter build here. You need to be careful though, that is, well, I was gonna say that is a full double bar Angie, but no counter super comes out, no red RC, no BRC dodge, just gets hit. Really unfortunate. There's the spin at round start being like, haha, I know you're gonna push a button, but gets clipped anyway.
Yeah, and the thing is, you were talking about, you know, the RRC cancels, the fast RC cancels. If there's something that Maka taught me in the first 2 weeks, is that this character actually gets a true mix-up with meter, which is not something that you think about when you talk about Angie. Especially this Angie, you know, plus R for sure.
Plus R, you think about his meter gain, and then you think about Red Hawk, and then you just want to curl into a ball and get hit by an unblockable, because that's what happens. This Angie, though, struggles a bit. We haven't seen a single butterfly out of Etokaru yet. Finishes the BP. Keeps pressure going, gets the fusion. No punish up King games. Ooh. Although I don't think you can punish the sweep. I think there's another one that you can punish.
Yes, or Angie.
Yeah, really good 6p there to pick up on the bad moon. Throws into the corner. Just spacing it out so that Amelia can't have anything to do, as she doesn't have the meter to be able to do Winger. Are we gonna see Red RC going into the wall break?
Yeah, interesting. RRC maybe just. Ooh, the active frames! Oh my god, it reminds me of Kasumi with her parries. You just wait like a full second, then you're like, haha, I got you. No, I got you.
Ooh, gets the counter hit with the overhead.
Oh,
no follow-up,
but turns it into a setup.
Oh, I can just imagine Angie being there like, there's no such thing as a drop combo. It's just a happy little setup.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I think that's a perfect. No, not quite a perfect. Got clipped once, but
I could see Angie with, you know, paint brushes and the afro provided by Foster, and you know, those interesting guys looking at you, explaining to you how to flat paintbrush.
And now we've got Etokaru on the board. Their first game in this set right now. Could this be the start of a big old comeback?
Oh, jump indeed! Ah, that could have been huge, but didn't get the pickup.
It's unfortunate, but they got the burst at least anyway, and getting Milia's burst means that you can just do your high damage combo now and be happy out. Last hit, potentially.
Oh, try
going for that chip?
Yeah, I was wondering why they didn't just use the mirror to extend. There's literally no escape for her, and you have two of them.
Yup. Oh, good just blocking. And then gets a punish off it. Really well done by Kin Games there.
The double 6p, let's go! Was that 6p or was it close S? But yeah.
I think that was 6p. I think that was 6p. Double 6p, like you said. Ooh. Just getting that spacing in was already where he wanted to be, so.
Khez, I believe, yes, doing really well.
Ooh. Good counter hit. Burst just came back.
Yeah, still 2 meters to work with. Even on a knockdown right now, you can wake up with parry, you can correct it. Or you can just hit with the back fan, which makes no sense, but it will still give you the game. Let's go, boxes.
Etokaru woke up with super parry. That's what that screen freeze was, and then got back fan afterwards. That's.
Let's go, Angie. Work.
Big abs, no brain, big himbo energy, Angie. Let's go. Oh.
One thing that I like to do against media that I think some players miss is air throws. It is scary, don't get me wrong, because if you get countered in the air by media, you're gonna be taken for a ride. But you know, you can still do it if you're predicting the no button or if you anticipate their approach.
I would be reluctant to do it to Amelia simply because of falling H, I think it is, and her jumping S. Like, those will counter hit you and float you so hard. It's really hard to do anything about them. Ooh. Had 2 meter, but chose not to extend it. That's one super counter down. Are we going to see another one? No.
Oh wow! The gold
Goldberg.
despite having full meter.
It's always that panic moment where you get really good use of hair car. There's always that panic moment when you get clipped though and you're low on health that you just need to burst. It's in your brain to say like, get me out of here. Spin into DP, getting taken for a ride into the corner. What are they standing up with? Are they trying to jump out of the way of the grab attempt?
Could be. It could be, or just be sort of like being clipped on the pre-jump frames or whatever.
Good use of the meter. Gonna get a little bit more. Gets thrown for their trouble.
No butterflies at all from
nope.
Ricardo.
Like I had brought it up before. Like we've not seen a single blue butterfly out of Edorkaru. No setups involving them. No usage of them. Not even butterfly red RC at any point. It's kind of weird, right? It's like one of his major tools still.
Yeah, especially on a hard knockdown.
Oh, there's one super parry. And there's a throw attempt on the second attempt of the super parry, I think.
Even if the super parry would have come out, you are falling into a warm embrace, which is the ideal when you're fighting in the snow. There's still physical activity, but you're still gonna get cold, right? So you can enjoy that, especially with media.
And that's the 7. Well played to Kin Games and Edorkaru, both representing themselves well here. With characters that Sinjil did not have the graphics for, unfortunately, because they baited us with that. Completely tricked us.
Baited.
Yeah. But yeah, an unexpected match, but an enjoyable one all the same.